Welcome to Highest Awards Chit Chat from Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Badgerland Council. This is held every Monday or the first Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. and the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. So welcome. Tonight, we're very excited to have Pat Coyne join us. Pat has been putting lots and lots of time and effort into creating kits that can be checked out from council at different locations. So hopefully she'll touch on that point and how to know where they are and what to do if your kit is not where you are. But so Pat is going to share the work that she's been doing, how to find these kits, how to know where they are, and all of these other things. So welcome, Pat. We're happy to have you tonight.
Hi, Cheryl. So hello, everyone. I'm Pat Coyne, and I'm a volunteer with Badgerland Council, just like Cheryl. And one of my volunteer jobs has been to look at what are called checkout resources. The council about 2 years ago, right at the beginning of the pandemic, had embarked on a new electronic inventory system for all these resources. And they needed somebody to like type in what they were and what they, all that kind of stuff and put pictures out. So that's where my work started, is as simply, can we take all this stuff that's in this room and at least know where it is on an electronic system? And so from there is kind of where I've spent the last 2 years of inventorying and improving and trying to advertise what checkout resources there are. So I'm hoping that through this presentation, you will be able to find things that save you time, save you money, and maybe open some doors to activities that you never thought you could do because, there was something that was needed that was just way out of your scope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and I'm going to walk you through how you actually mechanically find the site on the Girl Scout Badgerland site where you can search for stuff. And then I'm going to do some searches and highlight things that I think would be useful for people that are working on their highest awards. So that's the plan. I'm sorry that if you have questions and you arrive partway through, we'll do questions at the end. If there's no questions, you can go to customer care at the Girl Scout Badgerland Council and they can get you to me, or at the end, I'll also give you my personal email address. I'd be glad to help you find stuff or tell you what's in a box. So let's get started on sharing a screen. And Cheryl, can I confirm that you can see it? Good. Okay. So here's, if you just go to the girlscoutbadgerland.org site, and you can see that URL up on the top, gsbadgerland.org. This is where you would probably start. And the way you find the checkout resources is, even if you're a girl, and definitely if you're an adult, you start with the choice that says volunteers. Okay, so we're going to choose volunteers. And I know as a girl, if you're doing this work, this is not obvious to you, but this is the way to find it. Once you choose volunteers, then on the left-hand side of the screen, there's something called volunteer resources. So we're going to choose volunteer resources. So we've picked volunteers, then volunteer resources, and here in the middle of the page is something that's called troop checkout resources. And there's a little twisty over here on the right, and we're going to twist it. And you can see that there's a green option that says book now. That's how you get there. Okay, so let's go through that again. We went to the landing page, we checked volunteer. From volunteer, we went to volunteer resources. From volunteer resources, we picked troop checkout resources. And then we're now picking this book now option. So we're going to do that. And here we are. What's up, Cheryl?
So can I just share the way that I get there? And perhaps the website has gotten updated since you did this. If you go back a page, so that we're back on the other page.
Give me a moment. Back here? or back one more.
Yep, no, that's fine. Go all the way up to the top. If you click check front, it takes you there too.
You're right. It would take you there. And you're right. I didn't notice that they had updated that green banner. So now you got two ways of doing it. So for me though, the challenge is that you as an adult, just a random person who's a Girl Scout at Badgerland, you have to know the word check front is the name of that inventory system. And so once you know that, then this is faster. Absolutely. But if you don't know it, then that checkout resources or troop resources option is a little bit easier if you're like, I can't remember that special word. I can't remember that special word. That'll get you there. So the idea that there's two choices is great. Okay, so let's still get there. Okay. Ooh, it gets you there differently. And then I pick book now, enter check front, and we're still back there. Okay, so there's a number of things that can be reserved through this this page. Some of them are the checkout resources we're talking about. Some of them are the rooms that are in the buildings that we own, like the Leadership Center. Some of them are if you're camping as a troop and you want to reserve Camp Brandenburg or Camp Howie. Okay, all those things are here. We're going to ignore some of them and we're going to come right down here where it says checkout resources. Okay, let me get my cursor out of the way because it automatically like gives us more info. So you'll see green backed boxes. There's resources that are resident in Janesville. In Janesville, we also split out the flags because there's like 100 flags, right? And they just mess up the listings. So Janesville's got its own listing for flags. There's resources that are in La Crosse. There's resources that are in Madison. And then Madison also has like 200 flags. And so it's in its own spot again, because it's alphabetized. And when you hit F, all you do is scroll through flag, 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 flag. So we get those out of the way. So that's the whole idea. There's two ways to search. One is you just throw something right up here on the top in the search bar. Okay. It'll give you, if you're asking for, let's say, a compass, you want a compass kit. It'll give you all the compass kits across all of the different locations, Janesville, La Crosse, and Madison. If you know that you live next to Madison and you only want to see what's in Madison and you don't want clutter, you pick something like picking Madison. It says see listings and you go to that. And that's where I'm going to do my demo from, because there's the most items are in Madison. So we'll see the most stuff in Madison. So as long as we're talking about the fact that there are items in Janesville, La Crosse, and Madison, let's just talk a little bit about how you pick things up before we go too far. You'll see that here, every one of the titles clearly says it's in Madison. That's actually a recent improvement, because there were people in La Crosse that would like reserve something in Madison and then it wasn't magically there. And it was just, it was just people not understanding. So now every title is clearly listed with where its home location is. And if you're near La Crosse and you need something that you can only find in Madison, if you give them 14 days notice, they're going to try like the dickens to get it to that location so you can pick it up. Okay. And you'll see that there's a little blurb about that in every one of these that says, if you need it someplace else, let us know through customer care and they'll work with you on it. So now that was an advertisement of how to pick things up. Let's see what there is so you can decide if there's something interesting to you. If you just look at what's here, you'll notice that there's pages. And I'm not going to try and scroll through all of them, but you can see they're alphabetized. And sometimes if you're just looking for what's there, you can just scroll through the whole list. And that's not a bad thing. You'll also notice that it says in this very first one on the left, Agent of Change Junior Journey, it says next date, July 4th. What that means is that the earliest pickup date you can request is July 4th. And the reason for that is that council staff needs a little bit of time to make sure that they've got it in the right spot for you to pick up. So they give themselves a window to get that ready for you. So it's a 10-day, July 4th is a Monday, a 2-week. Right now, it looks like they've got a 2-week window to get their act together to make sure it's there for you. Okay, so you can't reserve anything any sooner than 2 weeks out. Okay, and that's what it is right now. Oh, there's one here in July 20th. Oh, July 20th.
I'm wondering if it's also could be based, like, especially this July 20th, that somebody else has it checked out too.
That's definitely true over here in backpacks where it says July 20th. And I actually know of the troop that has them checked out. So that's why I know that one is checked out. They're checked out like in early July. And so if it says next possible date is July 20th, and that seems more than 2 weeks away, it means that there's a little bit of wiggle room also for the council to make sure it comes back on time, to look at it, make sure it isn't broken, and then make sure they've got it in the right spot for you to pick up. So the windows are there for that kind of reason, but you can see, at least you can see everything that there is. So let's start with journeys, because when we think of highest awards, sometimes getting the journeys completed so that you have enough time left to do your highest awards it would be nice to get those things done with less work or less money or less planning. And so what I'm going to do is something real simple. I am just going to put the word journey right up here in the search bar and see what things there are for journeys. Okay, and so let's talk about these. Most of the kits that are out there that actually say journey are on the junior level. So there's a couple of things here. The Agent of Change Journey is an 8-week program, and it's every week or every meeting, an 8-meeting plan program, which would probably be a better thing. But it's got a whole bunch of handouts. So at least you don't have to do all the research. You can check it out. You can read through it from beginning to end and make copies and go with it as opposed to creating. So that's what you get saved with there. The other journey that has a lot of options in it in the junior is the next 4 windows is the Get Moving Junior Journey. And it's in a couple of boxes. Okay, it's split up. So there's this first one about energy and circuits, and it actually tells you what pages in the journey book it matches. Okay, so you can see which pages you're doing if you check out this. There's a bigger one here on some other requirements. This one's all the electrical stuff and energy. This has some of the other things. And then there's paper making. That's another one, page 40 of the journey book. Getting paper making equipment usually means you have to sacrifice your personal blender. And this way you don't have to sacrifice your personal blender to make paper. There's ones that's been sacrificed on your behalf and is in the box. And then there's an alternative. The GSUSA actually came out with a different Get Moving journey that's focused on healthy habits. And we have a box for that. So those are the journeys that actually say journey in them. The other journeys I'd like to speak to are some of the newer forms of the journeys. So when I think about what's in the journey, and I'm pulling out my crib sheets of all of the different badges we've got, but for juniors, cadets, seniors, and ambassadors, there's some newer journey options. One is engineering, one is computer science, and one is outdoor. And for the older girls, there's even an outdoor STEM. Okay, so those journeys are not these books the original books, but rather they're a compilation in many cases of badges or other requirements. So I'm going to show you some stuff about, let's just start with the engineering and computer science ones. And I'll show you some things that might help you with that. So a couple of years ago, the council invested in something they called maker kits, okay? Kind of like maker spaces, kits that are, that will help you with either computer programming or engineering. And they created a council badge that was called a maker badge. The maker badge or the maker patch is not something that's very active right now, but the materials are still here. So if I put in maker, oops, I got some extras, but that's okay. We'll see things like this. Okay, so here's one in the middle. Girl Scout Makers Kit Ambassador. It's an MIT app builder kit #1. So you can go look at this maker or some of the other makers and see if they fit the programming badge or the think like a programmer journey, because these have instructions and they've got tools that are in there. So here's the ambassador one. There's a brownie one, which is kind of fun, where you put things together, you wire things together and you make things that run around, they have batteries and they go, you can make things that move. Here's the cadet one, is something called an Arduino, which is a kind of coding language. And then there's a book here that helps you walk through it. And like, this is a buzzer. So you code things up and you can turn on lights and you can make the buzzer go. Okay, so that's some of what's here. I actually think this is one of the most fun kits there. And I know it says Daisy, but it teaches you how to put circuits together using these little snap things instead of wires. And so again, you can make buzzers buzz and lights turn on and a fan, whirl around. And so if you're trying to do engineering or stuff, it doesn't have to have wires. You can use this Daisy thing to help you with that. Here's the junior version of it. And then here's the senior one. So you can see there's all these different flavors to help you with, if you pick the either the engineering or programming journey as one of the places you want to start, you can check out these journeys. Okay. So those are some of the journeys. The other journeys are outdoor, and those are like, do these 3 outdoor badges, a trailblazing badge, a primitive camper badge, and maybe the first aid badge. Each one of those journeys has kind of that flavor to them. Well, if you're doing outdoor stuff, you don't own enough tents for your own troop. You don't own enough pudgy pie makers for your own troop, but the Girl Scout Council does. So let's just look at tents. Oops, no tents. Since when don't we have tents?
So what I've been seeing is you were in Madison.
You know what it is? It's tent. Say that again.
I was going to say, I noticed that we started the search within Madison and it looks like only Madison stuff might be coming up unless
Right.
all of these
And I
things
did that
just
on
happen to-
purpose.
Okay.
We can search for the same stuff in some of the other places. The inventories are not identical. The most robust inventory is in Madison. Where we have only one of something, it's in Madison. Anything I've created 3 of. And there's other times things have been created 3 of, but it's not universal. So if you're
And
doing
tents are kind of expensive to be universal.
well, yeah. And so that's why sometimes you need a little plan a little bit, because you still have a 14-day window for them to get it to you. Like to get the tents, having a little advance notice will help. So like here, there's all kinds of tents. Look at the tents. And these tents are actually, so this one, it's set up outside of Hilltop at Brandenburg. So this has actually been set up, it's the real tent we've got. Okay. And sometimes we have a couple of the same kind that are 4-people tents. Here's a 6-person tent. So there's tents. There are pudgy, let me spell pudgy correct, pudgy pie makers. We've got marshmallow forks. Let me see here. Yep, marshmallow forks. We have fire buckets. Okay. There's more fun stuff that you need for those outdoor badges, like compasses. We've got compass kits, all kinds of compass kits, and there's instructions in the compass kits and games in the compass kits. Almost every one of those badges is asking you to practice your knots. So if you're trying to do knots, there's the knot boards, which have, you know, the instructions right there. There's bins of extra rope. You can get all of those things. Let me think of what else we've got that's outdoor stuff. Dutch ovens, pots and pans, long-handled utensils for working on outdoor fires, all of those kinds of things. So if you are doing the outdoor journey and you're doing those 3 badges, and you need stuff, start searching through here, because there's a lot here to make your life easy. The other thing I was going to highlight is, as part of an award, not necessarily journeys, but as part of getting your award, sometimes you have to raise money for your award. And there's a number of ways of raising money, but one of the things you might look at is we have some and then I don't have to spell entrepreneur if I just put entre in, because I can never remember where that R is. But we have entrepreneur kits. So you could make stuff and sell it. And there's a lot of fun stuff here. So you could make stuff and sell it, and that would be a way of funding your award. Or if you're doing buttons, we have some button kits. So if this helps you with one of your activities or how you're getting the word out, you can do buttons. So here we've got bath. This is biz op games. That's not something you're interested in, but look down here. You can make candles, candy, dog treats. You can learn how to knit. I would say that would be a hard way to make money because it takes a long time to knit. And you can make soap. So all of those things, if that, you know, is kind of a sweet spot, you would like to make candles. And then it's like, oh, I could sell the candles and then I'd make a couple $100 and that would help me with my silver award. These entrepreneur kits can help you with that. And these we have 3 of, so there's one in every site. And they're good. And there's like this stuff, you know, you don't want to use your own dishes to make soap. You want to use somebody else's dishes to make soap or candles or any of those other things. And in fact, right now, when it comes to candles, I think there's even some supplies that, you know, when they run out, they run out. But right now, if we look at candles, I think there's even supplies that you can check out. There, extra supplies that you can check out. So you might not even have to buy the paraffin. You can just make the candles and make some money.
If they don't have the extra supplies, when you're preparing, so you order the kit, is there a list when you're ordering the kit that says the disposable supplies that you will need are XYZ?
Excellent question. So let's drill down on, oh, it won't let me do this maybe till I change my date. Let me go to a different date. Okay, suppose I'm going to book this candle thing here. Okay, and this is true for all of them. And let's say it asks me, when do I want it? So we'll leave it, you know, that I want it for one day. But now I can look at, shoot, I should have told you there. Oh, look at this. Well, let's do this again. So sometimes you bounce all the way back, and that just happens. And you just have to be a little patient. Clear my booking, confirm the clear. Okay. Let me go back and do candle and pick a date so that we can look at it. Okay. And I'm going to pick candles again. Talk to me, talk to me. excuse me for making this slow. Book now. Okay. So here, up here on the top, it says details. So there was a little bit of information in the picture, but here's the details. Okay. So if you look at this, look at what's in it. It says exactly what's in the pot, a burner, melt pots, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can see exactly what's there. It says what else? There's the coffee cans, that extra thing. And then here's what the troop needs to provide. And here's my list. So this is true across the board. As much as, yeah, I think every one of them I have put in, if a troop needs to provide something, I list it here. So before you check it out, you know what you're on the hook for. So here you can see what things are in there that are what things you need to get. And what things are in the box. And even look, if you look here, I was able to put in, here's some instructions. So there's instructions in the box, but you can actually look at the instructions. Again, before you check it out, you can go look at the instructions. This is a goal of mine, to have more and more instructions as part of the items. So again, before you check it out, you can go see what it takes to do it, but it's by no means universal. Then the other thing you can look at is photos. Oops,
I have another question on that. So
Yeah.
I checked out some of these kits and I haven't used them yet, but I didn't know about this details button. So now that I've checked it out, is there a way to get that? Or should I just go in here and pretend like I'm checking it out again and look at the details and then just not check it out?
Yes, that's what I would recommend. Since I don't know another, I mean, I could maybe experiment, but I don't know another easy way. And that's a good point. That makes me think of, how do I make sure people don't just depend on the picture, the little thumbnail picture, but they actually look at the details so that they know that, so that they're as informed as possible before they pick it up, because they want to be smart, they want to be prepared, they don't want to be rushing around. I've got to think about that. That's a good question. Okay.
You were going to show the other photos. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to do that. And then I realized that for this one, there is only one photo, but there are places where there's multiple photos of things. Like, this is not something that's necessarily germane to this audience, but these are the petal boxes that I've been creating. So there's a box for every petal that a daisy would, that would want to earn. And there I know I've got more photos. So there's the initial photo, but you can look at all the other ones that say, like, here, come on, talk to me. It's being slow. There, you can see these things. Oh, it's upside down. Oh, that's funny. And this picture about the book and the templates. And so these are all the different kinds of things that you can find in the kit. So where I had more than one photo, that's how you find them. The last thing I was just going to do is I was just going to show you what's in the flag category, just because sometimes you want to look at the flags. And they're by themselves. Oh, that's right. There are no petal flags in, there's nothing with petal. That's a flag. So let's see, what do we got here? So flags, lots of flags, right? US flags, Girl Scout flags, flag bags. If you're doing flag ceremonies, flag stands, and then tons of country flags. So, and those are alphabetized too. So that's what's out here in flags. But there are like the banner and the Badgerland flags and some of those other things that if you're doing a big public event, sometimes having some flags to kind of, say that, like the Girl Scout flags at the entrance of your event could be handy. So I point that out because, again, I think that might be something you would use for your bronze, silver, or gold award, is if you're trying to bring people's attention to a particular location by having the flag out there.
Well, and the country flags would be fun for Thinking Day.
They are, and that's why they're there. And that's why there are, like I said, I think there's 100 of them. So hundreds. You know, we're only down to the P's.
When we were on the other page, just some of the kits had fees. Can you speak to the fees that are associated with the kits?
Yes. So there are fees, and the way you pay for the fee is with either the Troop debit card or a credit card. You can put any of those in, and it's just to hold it in case it comes back broken. So when it comes back, they give it back to you. So it's a deposit, but not a fee. There are no fees for any of the items at all. So there's no cost. And because we don't have very many consumables, or where we have consumables, they're complimentary. There's no cost for any of these. So there's a deposit, but not a fee for any of them. So I think that's everything that I had prepared that I wanted to talk about, but I'd be glad to look at anything that there's questions on.
No, I think that was amazing. I think that I know I've been in the checkout resources, and I've obviously checked out some of the resources, although my date hasn't come up yet. But I learned a lot. So for people who haven't even had a chance to see Checkfront yet, I think that this was an amazing opportunity. And I really appreciate your time, not only tonight for the presentation, but all the work that you have put into putting these kits together and getting them online, because I know that you've been working on this for years and it has been a labor of love. So I know that I personally appreciate it and recognize the effort that has gone into it. And I'm sure other leaders are. And hopefully with this video, we'll be able to have some more activity on these resources, because they're so worth it. And we want the time and effort to be worth your time and effort that you've put into it to be worth it also. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, my goal is for leaders to spend more time with girls and less time on preparation. And so if we achieve that, then that's the victory.
All right. Well, thank you, Pat. And another reminder, Highest Awards Chit Chat is an open opportunity for people to come in and ask whatever questions you want of the Highest Awards Committee. And we try and share some useful information with you also. And that is the first Saturday of the month at 9 a.m. and the third Monday of the month at 7 p.m. So thank you all and have a great evening.
Bye-bye.